And just like that, the Packers season is over. It was a hell of a run, but unfortunately the Packers can't win in the postseason playing only half a football game. We'll recap that brutal loss to Chicago, complete with your feedback and more, all coming up next on your Packers Fan Podcast.
Welcome back. I'm Wayne Henderson, and I'm just shocked and stunned and frustrated and just kind of sad that it's all over. But we're going to talk Packers either way. It's what we do.
And I'm Scott Clark from the Gaming Outsider Podcast. Y'all, I'm disgusted. Jordan Love had 4 TDs, 3 of which were in the first half. The Bears had nothing but field goals the entire first half. Sounds like a recipe for a win, doesn't it? But thanks to poor play calling, poor time management, and a kicker who cost us 7 points, this is officially the last Packers Fan Podcast of the season. I'm not happy. This is episode 340 of your Packers Fan Podcast. We will first off discuss the Packers-Bears highs and lows. There was a lot of highs. Most of them, spoiler alert, were in the first half.
Right.
And most of the lows were in the second half.
I believe you're correct. We do have some brilliant and insightful listener feedback we're going to share with you as well.
Let's just jump right into it, Wayne. If we sound like we don't sound just all peppy and everything like this, there's a reason, guys. You know what that reason is because you're all feeling it as well.
Yeah. Wait till you hear the listener voicemails.
Oh my gosh. It's also, it sucks living in bear country, man. I did a really good job this season of not, instigating anything with fans and someone once told me a long time ago that you win with grace and lose with dignity. And I've that's always stuck in my head about how to deal with Bears fans. They still come at me. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not. It's not mean this season by any chance. One of my coworkers came in my room today at school in front of my class and said, "Hey, Mr. Clark, did you catch that game? I just want to make sure you saw it. It wasn't terrible. It was just good natured ribbing. It's the hardcore ones that I struggle with. But anyway, let's get into it. Okay. And I want to talk about the leaders from the loss to the Bears, starting over on the passing side of the ball. Jordan Love, 24 for 46. That doesn't sound great, but I feel like most of that was in the first half. 323 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's what I want to focus on. 323 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The guys in the pregame of this thing were saying, maybe Jordan Love will get 275. He had 50 more than what they predicted. And yet people are still saying that Jordan Love is not the guy. I could not disagree more. I will keep saying this. Yes, Malik Willis is awesome, but I got news for you guys. I've been saying this for a couple of weeks. He's not going to be a Packer next year. If he is, I will be absolutely shocked. Jordan Love is still a phenomenal quarterback. Is he top 5 yet? No. There's just too much talent in the quarterback position in the NFL, but he's awesome. He was not the reason we lost this game. How much more can you ask from Jordan Love? 4 touchdowns and 323 passing yards in a single game.
Oh,
sure,
yeah.
The 24 out of 46 could be improved, right? But how much of that is his fault?
I mean, the LA Chargers would be happy to have even 2 of those touchdowns this past weekend.
Oh, my goodness. Didn't they have like 3 points in that game?
Yeah.
Was that the final? On the rushing side, Josh Jacobs, 19 carries for 55 yards. Receiving, Romeo Doubs, 8 receptions for 124 yards and 1 touchdown. How much of that came from his helmet? How much of that came from him? Not sure. On defense, Edgerrin Cooper had 8 tackles for 6 all by himself. All right, then let's get into it. Opening drives and highlights. Bears actually won the toss and elected to receive, which going into the halftime was awesome, because we had such a great start to this game. But this drive, though, they kept moving the chains on 3rd down. Was the thing with this drive. 3rd down, we could not stop them. Couldn't even stop them at 3rd and 14 after a tackle for loss by Enigbari. Thankfully, though, they did eventually stop them, and the Bears had to settle for a field goal attempt. This was an 8-minute drive. Half of the quarter on this one drive.
Crazy.
Bears were leading 3-0, and I was like, man, this is not how I wanted to start that game. Little did I know that 3 points would have come in a lot handy later on in the game. Then we get the ball. Had a bit of a rough start, had a 10-yard penalty that set them back a bit to start. And if I'm not mistaken, that was the only penalty on the Packers till like the end of the third quarter or something like that. It was, I was ready to come into this podcast today going, this was like the least penalties we've had all season. They finally got that down. This one sucked. Don't get me wrong, but it wound up being okay anyway. Really good fundamental football this drive with the focus on moving the chains. There was one explosive play to Dobbs for 33 yards and 3rd and short, which was crazy. I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, that's what you're doing. That's one of my reactions in those kinds of plays.
Love it.
The whole series, though, ended with a short pass to Watson on the right side in the end zone to give the Packers their first lead. And they were leading 7-3 at this point. And I'm like, all right, here we go, boys. Here we go.
And speaking of here we go moments, the Packers picking off Caleb Williams when it was 4th down for the Bears. Valentine intercepts it at the Packers' 12-yard line. I kind of wish he would have batted it down instead because we would have started 27 yards further up the field. But, in the moment, it's exciting to watch anyway. I guess Pack just had to pick up those yards the good old-fashioned way, fundamental football.
And it's funny you say that because thankfully the Packers did that and much more by capitalizing on the interception. 87-yard drive, 10 plays. Think about that. That's crazy. Came really close to a delay of game, but thankfully a timeout was called. On 3rd and long, Love tossed one to Jaden Reed on the left side, who was able to easily cross the goal line for a score. Packers are now up by 2 scores, 14-3. Back to the interception, though, like in the moment, it's very much like, what are you doing, dude? Bat the ball down, don't catch it. He's been training for those moments his entire life, right? It's hard to turn your brain off and go, oh, I'm going to drop this ball, because then you're thinking, did I catch it? Did I fumble it? You know what I mean? It's just a whole mess. I'm obviously it worked well in our favor, but you cost us 30 yards. You know what I mean? So can't be too mad at it. But in the moment, I was like, dude.
And I was the opposite. In the moment, I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, oh, the implications. Oh, well, it worked out, thankfully. Later, the Packers capitalized on a major Bears gamble towards the end of the second quarter. Ben Johnson, I hate even saying his name, he elects to go for it on 4th and 4 on their own 32. They bobble the snap. Cooper bats it down anyway. The Packers take over already in field goal range, Scott. They start.
How often does that happen?
Not very, but it's a beautiful thing when it does. They start driving, and on 4th and 1 from the 23, Love throws one to Watson, who runs to the goal line but fumbles before the end zone. Dobbs recovered it in the end zone, but it was not ruled a touchdown. It was ruled a spot of the fumble. Luckily, we did get to keep the ball, and it took 4 plays for it to happen, but Love threw a touchdown on 4th down to Dobbs on the left side for 6 more points. We were leading 21-3 at that time, and I cannot believe how high in the air Christian Watson got when he was flying and doing that stunt. It was insane, and the freeze frame of it is going to be made into memes for years to come.
Probably.
I'm just glad Christian Watson didn't get hurt, because the way he landed, I thought, oh, here we go. Great.
Here we go again. Yeah. What's I don't understand the rationale behind that rule. Like if you fumble it and recover it yourself, like if he had fumbled it and the defense had recovered it, they would have got a touchback. It wouldn't have been like, I don't know. I feel ignorant. Like my first thought was, well, you might intentionally fumble it, like to roll it into the end zone to another guy, and they're trying to avoid that kind of situation. I just couldn't imagine that being like a thing that you would do. Like, I don't know, but it was an interesting thing. Anyway, the Packers D made a stand on the Bears' next drive as well. Bears win for it on 4th down, but they're unsuccessful. But the Packers have a chance to score one more time to close out the half. Unfortunately, Bears called timeout to ice McManus, and his second attempt is wide to the left. Which was brutal. He got it. He got he kicked the first one, after they called timeout, and the whole thing absolutely worked. Like, dude, just do the same thing you did. Oh man, it would have been so nice to go into that up 3 scores into the halftime, especially since we got the ball again in the third quarter. So going into the half with that big of a lead and the ball, man, talk about momentum. But we'll get there. It's
a funny thing indeed. We did have a very timely interception in the back half of the third quarter. Carl Brooks nearly got to Caleb and forced an errant throw, but Tyron Hopper, Is it Hopper? He intercepted Williams. So many new players on the Packers this time of year. Intercepted Williams on 4th down inside the red zone. Green Bay took over on their own 6-yard line. It's a long way to go. Again, we had a heart attack moment when Love passed it to Jarrett, who promptly fumbled it forward. Thankfully, it went out of bounds, and it stayed Green Bay's ball, but way back at the 12-yard line. Sadly, we were forced to punt on this drive, allowed the Bears to return it all the way to the 35-yard line. Thankfully, the Packers defense was holding up at this point, held them to a field goal. We were leading 21-9. Not the worst thing in the world at that point.
And then the moment of the game for me happened.
Oh, yes.
Because I have been waiting all season for this. Matthew Golden finally gets his first TD in the NFL. It was such a moment. I about stood up and cheered at this point.
I did.
Really. Yeah, it was so, because I mean, I think even the announcers were saying, like, Golden, first round draft pick, hasn't got a TD all season, and then they willed it into existence. Unfortunately, he got that on a bummer of a loss, but man, I hope he got that ball. I hope somebody saved that ball for him and gave that to him. As for the drive itself, though, really thought we were getting a bad spot on 3rd down on that drive. Thankfully, they wound up giving the Packers a first down. Very next play, Love passes to Golden, who powers his way down 23 yards for the end zone to extend the lead. I was just so excited. And then I just got deflated because, McManus missed the extra point. An extra point in the playoffs. You miss an extra point in the playoffs. What is going on? Packers were still ahead at this point, though, 27-16. There was 6:36 left in the game. Think about that for a minute. 27-16 with 6 minutes and 36 seconds left in the game.
Right.
And then stuff happened, but we'll get there.
Yeah, but first, I do want to touch on that Golden touchdown a little bit more because that was spectacular. It was all Golden. He was breaking tackles. He was juking people left and right. It was just amazing. If he can bring that again next season, because we do tend to throw the ball more to receivers in their second years and beyond, it's going to be what we had hoped for, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, when he caught that, there was no thought in my mind that he was going to go all the way.
Oh, me neither.
There's not a chance. And not just because it's a rookie. He was well covered. There was guys along the way, and he just found his way, and it was a beautiful sight to see. Absolutely loved it.
Now, something we didn't love was the first drive of the second half that was nearly a disaster. Quick 3-and-out on the Packers offense. It definitely squandered opportunity to really make a statement. The Bears took over after Whalen's punt, drove down near the red zone. The Bears were called for an incomplete pass, which forced a 3rd down. Thankfully, the Packers defense held them to a field goal attempt. The Packers were up 21-6, but you can be beat by field goals if you get enough of them. So I was like, oh, geez. I wanted a shutout, Scott. A shutout.
You and me both, man. You and me both. So, just to keep this in mind, we're going to move to the 4th quarter now. So by the 4th quarter, the Bears had still not scored a touchdown in the first 3 quarters of this game. It's nuts. And then this happens. 4th quarter comes. They're just walking all over the Packers defense in the first half of the 4th quarter. They capped this drive with a 5-yard run from Swift to make it a 1-score game. Extra points good. Packers are still leading 21-16, but that was their first touchdown of the game. Come on. I guess the defense holds the Bears to nothing but field goals in 3 quarters of football. And then this happens. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then just over 4 minutes left in the game, the Bears answer with another score. The defensive line just could not get to Caleb Williams due to the numerous uncalled holds against Rashawn Gary and others. This unsurprisingly gave Caleb so much time back there. It was ridiculous all the way around. The series wraps up with a toss to Zacchaeus for 6. 2-point conversion. It's good too. Packers still lead, but only by a field goal, 27-24. And that's when the uh-ohs were starting to happen. Like, oh. Yeah,
and usually I kind of challenge you a little bit on the holding calls and stuff, but dude, it's hard for a non-professional person like myself to notice holds in real time. But there was multiple times this game where I was like, how are you not seeing that? I am seeing that. There was one completed pass that Williams had. Gary would have gotten to him Like Gary had his guy beat and would have gotten to him, and it was blatant. It was like pulling the jersey and wrapping him around. It was just that's not why we lost the game, right? There's reasons that are the Packers' fault of why we didn't lose the game, but I want a fair game. Anyway, back to the bad news. Final 3 minutes of the game. McManus misses a field goal. Packers still lead at this point, but only by 3. We should not be on pins and needles after the first half of this game. The stress, the notes I have in here right now say the stress is real. That's what I wrote down. Like, we had 3 touchdowns in the first half. We should not be stressed out. This should not be a heart attack pack game.
No.
I've been preaching to the Packers all season to stop playing come from behind and defend your lead. They're finally in this position where they defend their lead and they squander it. Because then...
the Bears take their second lead of the game when it mattered most to them. The Bears just needed a field goal to force overtime, but no. The Packers defense had given up, let the Bears offense walk all over them, passed it to Moore on the left side with plenty of room, walked into the end zone. The PAT for them is good. And the Bears lead 31-27 with 1:43 left in the game. And I am stunned and shocked, and I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, so the problem here is that we've got a minute 43 to get down, which normally in a situation like this is like, we just got to get down and get a field goal to tie the game. But no, we're not down by 3. We're down by 4, which means in order to win this game, we have to score a touchdown. So we've got this one last chance. They get down to about the 28-yard line, wound up with a final play with 7 seconds left. Jordan Love fumbles the ball, and I'm like, there goes that. Then he recovers it and starts running around, waving at his guys, looking for a receiver. Pass incomplete. Game over. Bears win 31-27. I'm just stunned. Dude, I literally didn't even say a word. I got up out of my seat. I went to my front door. I went outside. I pulled the Packer flag off of the front of the house.
Oh, no.
Wrapped it up, brought it back inside and put it away just very quietly. Didn't say anything. And then went back to my seat and started taking notes for this show.
And after the game, I was pretty silent as well. My wife and I kind of drowned our sorrows with, one of those drumstick ice cream cones.
Oh, yeah.
But before I delved in, I took off my Jordan Love jersey. Didn't want to get ice cream on it, It went from there. But, hey, do you still have that soapbox handy? I need that for a minute.
Sure. Here you go.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, screw the NFL refs. They're either inept, blind, or corrupt. Now, like you said, we didn't specifically lose the game because of the refs, but it did not help. The announcers are saying, Bears have only had 2 penalties tonight. And I'm like, 2 called penalties. There was at least 9 cases of holding that didn't get called. There was also a hands to the face of Jordan Love that didn't get called. There was also a Bear leading with the crown of his helmet to Jordan Love's helmet. Yeah, the same guy that purposely injured him a few weeks ago. No flags. I'm just done with it. It's a joke. Are the refs kind of swayed by NFL gambling money? I don't know what's going on, but it's annoying. Also, screw the Bears homer announcers, Al Michaels and whoever that other guy is. I've lost all respect for Al Michaels. Even when the Packers were way ahead, he hardly mentioned this at all. Instead, he just kept raving about the Bears and Caleb Williams and Soldier Field. And then when the Bears took the lead, it got even worse. More insufferable, Scott, than Chris Collinsworth at his most annoying. Oh, and
man, I did not pick up on that.
My gosh.
I think you texted me and I don't know if it's because I'm taking notes during the game and I'm only half listening to the announcers, but I've also been I didn't know people hated Chris Collinsworth. I've always liked Chris Collinsworth. I don't understand.
I don't think we hate him, but sometimes he just won't shut up.
Yeah. All right.
And I also got to give thumbs down on Amazon Prime's videos notoriously glitching airing of games. All of my streaming apps, YouTube TV, any of them, Netflix, they're flawless 99% of the time. Amazon Prime Video got glitchy, froze a bit, sound went out, got fuzzy 5 times during the game.
I didn't have the issue either, but my brother texted me and asked if I was having issues. So clearly he was.
Yeah.
So you're not alone on that one. To get on my soapbox for a minute,
let me pass it back to you here.
Yeah. I'm getting tired of having to be a subscriber to like every service now to be able to watch football games. Not to be the old fart in the room because I'm younger than you, probably.
You are.
But
get off my lawn.
I kind of miss the good old days when the game was just on network TV. You know what I mean? Like it's, I'm paying for all of these services and I still have to subscribe to another one to watch a football game. I don't know. It's just the greed and everything is getting out of hand, and it's making it really, it's making it more and more difficult to be a fan of a sport that I adore as much as I do. And like, stop it.
Agreed. Because I'll get a call from my mother-in-law. What channel is the game on? And half the time when she asks, it's unfortunately a streaming service she doesn't have. It's like,
yeah. Then I feel like it's what are those commercials like? It's these commercials. The football is here to sell food.
Yeah,
I love those commercials, by the way. But it feels like all of this thing is to increase sales at bars. Because people are like, well, I don't have that service, so I'm not, instead of getting a free trial and then having to worry about subscribing, I'm just going to go watch the game at the bar, and then you wind up spending $50-$60 on drinks and bar food and stuff like that. So that's my conspiracy theory is that
I like it.
The NFL is in league with breweries and stuff. I don't know. Anyway,
but anyway, all right. Point well taken. Now for our last poll question, which we posted in our Facebook group at PackersCommunity.com, as well as on X at Packers Fan Pod. I was tempted to go the easy route and just say, who's most to blame for this loss? But I've done that a couple times before. And I noticed after the fact, and I'm glad I didn't, because ESPN and many others were posting that exact same thing. So trying to look a little more on the positive side. At this point, who are you rooting for now to potentially win it all this season? Do you have anybody you like of the teams that are left, Scott?
Well, I was rooting for Jacksonville until that happened. Like when you first posted this question, that was my answer. But I'm still going to go with the Bills. It's really hard to not like Josh Allen. The dude has two of the top. There's a stat that there's only 3 quarterbacks that have had 3 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns in one game, right. And he's 2 of them. Like, it's just insane to me. Plus, he's married to Haley Steinfeld. Like, go dude. Like, that's awesome. I really like him and I like the team. I would like to see the Bills take it. That'd be my call. How about you?
Yeah, with all of the teams left, I also am rooting mostly for the Bills. Especially, yeah. I was rooting for the Jaguars as well. I'm like, that's too bad that 2 of the AFC teams I like are going head-to-head the first week. So I feel bad for the Jags, but happy for the Bills. I'd like to see them go all the way, but I wouldn't mind if Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers went all the way and good old Aaron Rodgers could get one more. That would be fun
okay.
to see. I know.
I'm okay.
So,
of course, my number 1 pick is going to be whichever team is playing the Bears. Is it decided yet?
Yeah, the Rams are going to the Bears this week, so
go Rams.
Yeah, absolutely. I was telling people at work all day, I am out for football revenge. Go Rams. And I can't believe the Niners somehow won yesterday. They're going to Seattle to play the number 1 seed, very rested Seahawks. Go Seattle.
That is going to be a game.
That crowd's going to be insane. But the crowd at the Denver Broncos game, with them being the number 1 seed in the AFC and high altitude and them rested and Bo Nix, that crowd's going to be pretty wild as well. So some good football coming this weekend, even if our Packers aren't there.
Yeah, it's true. And as bad as that was for us, as sad that I am that our season is over, what a fantastic weekend of football. I mean, obviously I was into my game, but the other games, I didn't get to watch the Panthers game. I heard that was insane. I watched the afternoon game, and it was just back and forth and nail biter. It was great. Just, I love Wild Card Weekend. It's like my favorite weekend of football ever.
And the fact that Josh Allen was able to win that game with the Bills after he went into the blue tent like 3 times in the first half, it's
Did you see where he threw the ball and hit his hand on the back of his offensive guy's helmet? That looked like it hurt so bad. I could just feel it.
Just crazy.
Granted, it wasn't cold out. You know what I mean? It makes you think cold fingers when you do that, but still, that just looked like it stings. No, anyway, nice. Back to your poll question. We had some comments on the poll over on Packers Fan Podcast Facebook group. First off, Bill Gardner says, I'm going for former Ducks quarterback Bo Nix and the Broncos on the Rodgers-led Steelers. Dawn says, got to pick my sister-in-law's Eagles, but after that, maybe the Broncos. Interesting. Maybe I'll go Broncos because my boss is a Broncos fan, and I don't have any ill will towards the Broncos, even though they beat us.
Right.
Early Sunday morning, Cliff Front, is that his name?
Yes.
Early Sunday morning, Cliff Front posted, going for the Jags as we get to see them play every year at Wembley, so have a soft spot for them. Cliff, I was with you. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So
that's
there you have it.
Very unfortunate because, a few of the teams that were listed in the poll by the time Sunday was over, and you can still vote for who's left. You can even go back in and change your vote. But the votes, the tally after combining Facebook votes and X, 42% are going for the Steelers, 29% for the Bills, and then 14% for the Jaguars, who are now out, and then all the rest, very small percentages for the other teams. So we'll see what happens. Big weekend of divisional round games coming. So please join us in the Packers Fan Podcast Facebook community. Be part of the conversations. There's definitely going to be things going on during this early part of the offseason, especially. Be there at packerscommunity.com.
Thanks so much for being part of the show all season. We really do appreciate it. And we've got some voicemails for you now, too. First off, I believe it's Spicy Dan Deiler. What's he got to say?
Go, 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 Pack, go. Yeah. Why don't you just go ahead and kick me straight in the nuts right now?
Oh, my God.
This felt as close to 2014 NFC Championship game versus the Seahawks as you can get. We had that one up 18 points in the second half, and they just completely blew it. God, this was a hard one to swallow. I'm still feeling a little bit numb, even 2 days after the fact. But Matt LaFleur, again, I've said it multiple times over the past 2 to 3 years. He has an absolute inability to make adjustments or move on to an alternate game plan mid-game. It's like his situational knowledge or his situational football play calling is just absolutely horrid. Case in point, in the entire second half, he only called 6 runs the entire second half. When you're up by 18 points, that is inexcusable. Inexcusable. In the first half, 15 plays, Jordan Love was under center with 12 plays out of the shotgun. Great balance. Second half, 5 plays under center and 35 freaking shotgun. 35 out of the shotgun in the second half alone. Inexcusable. I get it. There's injuries for sure. So does every other team in the NFL. Every setback now feels like an excuse instead of a test or a challenge. And that just boils down to culture. I feel like Matt LaFleur is more worried about his haircut. The only edge that I'm seeing on this team is the blade that's shaping his stupid goatee. Why he decided to bring back Rich Bisaccia after last year. Rich Bisaccia is the highest paid special teams coach in the NFL, at least when he was hired on to be that special teams coach. And he has done nothing to improve special teams. Brandon McManus, he came in last year and he did pretty good, but this year he's been trash panda. 3 of 9 from 40-plus yards. He cost the team 7 points. He cost the team a whole entire touchdown on Saturday night. Bisaccia and McManus got to blast them straight into the sun. There is no reason to allow 25 points to be made in the fourth quarter. Oh, and by the way, the NFL teams to secure or to score 25 points in the fourth quarter to overcome a 15-point deficit in a playoff game. Here's the list. The Chicago Bears on Saturday night and the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl 51, which, I'm not sure if you saw this meme going around, but Matt LaFleur was the quarterback's coach in that game in the Super Bowl. Ridiculous, inexcusable. It's been 15 years since the last NFC title we've had and Super Bowl. I mean, our last Lombardi trophy can now drive. In our identity, it feels like it's in limbo, or at least a coma. And that boils down to coaching and locker room leadership. Now, the one positive I can take away from that is we are, for the third straight year, the youngest team in the NFL. And, with the fact that we, kind of crapped the bed. Well, no, we didn't kind of. We crapped the bed on this in this season. I mean, like I said, injuries. But like I said, every team has injuries. In this game, we had all the luck going for us. We had 2 interceptions. We had 2 turnovers on downs. We had 3 fumbles that none of them were recovered by the Bears. There was only 1 sack for only a loss of 1 yard. We were 3 for 3 in the red zone, for Pete's sake. The only bad part was the penalties, with 7 penalties. And Edger and Cooper going down, and then Sean Ryan with the 10-second runoff right at the very end. That really kind of sealed the deal. But as always, I want to end on a good note, and it's Golden. Golden got his first touchdown, and that was almost all on him. I think he shucked about 6 would-be tacklers. That was awesome to see. We got Jordan Love for the foreseeable future. We got a bunch of young studs that are coming up. We got the draft coming up. Gutekunst hasn't been exactly great in the higher rounds, like the number 1, number 2 rounds, and we don't have a number 1 pick for the next 2 years, due to the Micah Parsons trade. And I'm okay with that because he is really able to find the diamonds in the rough. I'm looking forward to it big time, and I'm looking forward to next season already. But here comes the worst part. The worst part is the end of this season's podcast. I enjoy this so much, interacting with Wayne, Scott, and all of the other listeners. Megan, hopefully Andres from LA can get back in it. Jared from Colorado, Art down there in Texas. All you guys, I truly appreciate all of your insights, all your opinions, and all your motivation. This is like, I'm smiling right now, even though we're out of the playoffs. But yeah, here we go. Let's send it off with one Go Pack Go. Go, 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 Pack, Go Pack Go.
I wasn't sure if he was done or not. Go Pack Go indeed. Dan, thank you so much. Had some really great points on there. We got to talk about the elephant in the room, which is LaFleur, because I feel like everybody's calling for his head. I agree with Dan on some of the points. Why? I wish you guys, I should have been recording my phone so you guys could have heard my wife yelling at the screen.
Oh, yeah?
Why? She's like, run the ball. Why are we passing? We're trying to eat up the clock. We're trying to eat up the clock and you are passing. I did not realize it was 6 runs in the entire second half. That is absolutely insane when you're up by 2 scores. That does not make any sense.
That's true.
I agree with you.
That's true. But at the same time, Josh Jacobs coming back from his knee injury, he just was not very effective. If we're going to keep running the ball, they should have put in the other guys.
Well, and the way I was looking at it, I wasn't as mad about the situation at the time because I didn't know where it was going to end up, obviously.
Right.
I was frustrated, but the way I was looking at it was if they got in the end zone, that was going to be the dagger for the game. I think that was Matt LaFleur's strategy at that point is he knows how aggressive Ben Johnson is, and he was trying to be preemptively aggressive because if all they had to do was stick it in the end zone, it would have been game over. Then they could have rested on their laurels and just kind of held them. You know what I mean? Or not rested on their laurels, but it was like kind of smooth sailing. then they could run the ball. When they're up by 2 scores, even if the Bears got one, then you can kind of play safe football. But one of Matt LaFleur's biggest criticisms this season has been that he plays it too safe, that he doesn't take enough risks. I think that him doing that was taking the risk and trying to put away the Bears, which is what we've been asking him to do all season long, is put them away, put them to bed, make it so it's not a threat anymore. And it just backfired. I'm not mad at that. Like, would I have preferred him to run the ball? Probably, but I understood. So
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. I am not in the camp of people that want Matt LaFleur's head. I still think he's a fantastic quarterback. I really like him on the side. Head coach. I like him on the sidelines. I have a lot of respect for him. I get frustrated with him just like I do every coach. I wish if I were recording this podcast back in the Holmgren days, I'll bet you I would have had all kinds of things to be saying about him. But I hope they are not getting rid of Matt LaFleur, because it would feel like a rebuilding year. And they've got such a good momentum going right now with this young team and a lot of talent. Like you mentioned earlier, Matthew Golden's going to have a breakout second season. He's just got so much potential. And this team has the possibility of being the youngest team in the NFL again next season, but they're going to have 1 year under their belt. Imagine what they're going to do next season. You put in a whole new coach in that's going to throw everything out the window, and I hope they don't do it. So I'll let you respond.
Okay. And you saw the soundbite that I sent you earlier today from Micah Parsons talking about Coach LaFleur. And that's one of the reasons that Micah Parsons felt comfortable coming to Green Bay, and he has Matt LaFleur's back. We don't want to tick off Micah Parsons. We want him to have a fantastic year, even if he can't come back until Game 3 of next season. But I did find, Dan, your stat about 35 plays out of the shotgun just in the second half. That does seem excessive.
That's crazy. It's just insane to me. We talked about Brandon McManus already. Yeah. When you put that in perspective, that he cost us a touchdown, the kicker cost us a touchdown because of 3 missed kicks. That's just insane. And then just to kind of wrap up, it is sad. It is a bummer that the podcast has to end each season. This is not a year-long podcast. We just do this during the season, and for it to be cut so abruptly. I think last season we didn't even make the playoffs, right? Is that correct?
I think so.
Or did we make?
I think
so. It was even shorter. It was even shorter last season. But it comes to an end. But like Wayne said, we kind of do stuff throughout the year once in a while, and the friendships never cease. When stuff happens, we'll always interact on the Facebooks, and I still can't wait to go to a game and actually be able to go with other PFP listeners, people that have been listening to the show. I think we were talking before the episode, Wayne, that it's been like 7 years since I've been doing the show with you.
I believe at least. Because I believe you were here during that crazy pandemic year. The stadiums had like 50 people in the audience.
Yeah. And weren't some games they had like cut out people?
Yes.
Like they had cut out people in the stands, which is weird.
Crazy thing of history. So yeah, next season, hopefully I'll make it to a game. And yeah, the next episode of the podcast will probably be when the draft happens, unless something huge news-wise happens with the team between now and then. But we're hoping those kind of things don't happen unless we sign some other mega star between now and the draft. But thank you so very much, Dan. Let's see who else sent in a message to 920-3-PACK-GO.
Wade Scott, Art from Texas. I'm a little sick, so hopefully you can hear me clearly. That or maybe I have a bad reception. Man, this Packers team, I go back to what I said before about them being riddled with injuries. And still they made it this far. But that same team that was riddled with it, that is riddled with injuries, was winning 21-6. That same team that is riddled with injuries gave up that lead. I don't know what happens to them in the second half. It's like in the second half they just totally collapse. And to me that signifies like a coaching problem. I in my opinion. I don't know about. I like Matt LaFleur. I just don't know what goes on sometimes with play calling. And with these kinds of collapses in the second half, like it's almost like they just give up in the second half. I have no clue why. Uh, McManus, yeah, I think he has to go. Yeah, he has to go. I don't know if that kid Harris thing. I don't know if it's too late to re-sign him or what. I mean, I know, no kicker's perfect, but McManus had a really bad day today. Like, wow. I don't know, somebody needs to answer for why they played like that in the second half. Um, well, another year in the books. Hopefully next year, I'm excited for next year. Hopefully we could stay healthy. Because I know this team, it was this team that have made it to the Super Bowl had they been healthy for sure. And but we need to hurry up because the window's closing slowly. A lot of these players are gonna be up. Their contracts are gonna be up, and people like Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson, and the time's running out. And we'll see. And thank you so much for another year of your podcast, or place to vent out and to vent out. But thank you so much to both of you, and we'll talk again soon. Maybe during the draft or something. Go Pack, go! Gritted gold till I'm dead cold.
Go Pack, go indeed, Art. We appreciate the kind words. Thank you so much for going the extra mile, even being so much under the weather, and calling in a listener voicemail with your thoughts. We really appreciate it, and we do hope that you feel so much better.
Seriously, when you started that voicemail, I thought he was being emotional. I was like, oh my God, he's so upset about this loss. Oh, he's just sick. I hope you feel better, man. I feel your pain. I think it was last week? I was out sick.
Right.
I was awful. It was awful. I don't know if I could have even recorded a voicemail like you did. So kudos to you, man. Thanks for the call.
Indeed. And yeah, looking on the bright side, Packers riddled with injuries, still made it to the playoffs, and were winning the game 21-6 at one point. Play calling, and kind of like I think it was Jared in Colorado mentioned a couple of voicemails ago, a couple episodes ago, Matt LaFleur should at least explore giving up the play calling. You can stay the head coach, give up play calling, see how it works out. Great question, Art. Is it too late to re-sign Lucas Havrisek?
He was great. So that's the thing is, like, we could do that, and then he could pull a McManus and be just as awful. You know what I mean? Like, sure, he was great, but nobody's perfect. It's gonna be. It's just. But I'm not on the McManus bandwagon at this point. He's got to go.
Yeah, excited for next season. I wish it was coming soon, and hopefully we do stay healthy all season long. Oh, look at that! We do have a voicemail from Jared in Colorado.
Hey, Wade and Scott, Jared in Colorado, calling with feedback about the loss to the Bears. God, that sucks. The Bears in the wild card round last night. I wanted to give myself some time to not give feedback when I was, a few beers in, but also just wanted to at least have some time to kind of chew on everything before to kind of give a little somewhat more sound feedback and not just react on pure emotion. If you can't tell, I'm still sounding pretty down, so there's going to be some emotion here nonetheless. But the obvious that sucked. This one's going to hurt for a long time. It's going to make next year's regular season matchups chippy as all as you can get. And here we are, another collapse of just epic proportion. You're up 21-3 at halftime, and I wasn't comfortable at all because we've seen this story before over and over and over again. And that is the most frustrating part of all this. I mean, there's a lot that was frustrating, but I mean, that right there is it. I mean, it's really sad and infuriating, frankly, that you can't trust your team to put their opponent away when they're beating them to a pulp like the Packers were at halftime, being up 21-3. Gosh, that was just frustrating. So, yeah, I don't want to get too much in the X's and O's of the game. I'll let you guys do that. I'm sure other listeners will will do the same. But, I'm kind of looking ahead already. I think looking into the next season, Jordan Love's our guy. I think he's proven himself. I think he played more than well enough to win the game. I mean, he had 4 touchdowns for Pete's sake. I think at this point, there's no question that Jordan Love is our franchise quarterback, and that's going to stay that way. I think in the offseason on offense, the O-line is their biggest hole right now. Run blocking was awful, and it showed given how bad the run game was all year. I mean, just the offensive line just collapsing immediately upon the snap of the ball, not creating any semblance of a running lane, whether it was Jacobs or Brooks or Manuel Wilson. O-line is definitely a big need. Defense, I think secondary help is the biggest. We need a solid help at corner to complement Xavier McKinney. I'm personally done with the Keyshawn Nixon experiment. It was fun when, we needed help on kick returns, and he, breathed some life into that, a couple seasons ago. But yeah, I'm done with Keyshawn Nixon. He's too mouthy, he's too penalty prone. He just doesn't have a cool head on his shoulders. I'm kind of over it. And here's the thing, he doesn't play well enough to it'd be one thing if he was actually, a lockdown corner. But anyways, I'll move on from him. I'm done with Keyshawn Nixon. Pass rush, I think we need someone to complement Parsons next season. Rashawn Gary was supposed to be that guy, especially after the massive payday he got. And he was nowhere to be found, which is insane considering Parsons was consistently, before he got injured, was consistently getting double or triple teamed, and Gary still couldn't do anything. So that was frustrating. And then special teams. Take the unit seriously. The team needs to actually take the special teams unit seriously. Don't just throw together this ragtag group of guys from the offense and defense and be like, hey, who wants to go do kick returns? Fire Rich Bisaccia. I mean, he's the highest paid special teams coordinator in the league, and the product he's putting out, his unit's putting out there, is not good. And they've consistently cost us games, once again costing us games in the playoffs, which, obviously I'm alluding to Brandon McManus. We're talking about a win right now if Brandon McManus actually could make kicks in the crucial times that it mattered the most. I think we should move on from McManus. And I think, don't get me wrong, as a whole, his product as a whole has been phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, but we're paying him a lot of money at the kicker position to put out a result like that in the playoffs. I'd be open to keeping him if he's willing to take a heavy hometown discount after what happened. But yeah, that's my thoughts for next season. And we're already hearing it as far as Matt LaFleur. I kind of saved this one for last. I've never been on the fire Matt LaFleur train. And that's why I wanted to give myself time to kind of mull things over before giving feedback. And I gotta say, I don't necessarily think I am on the fire Matt LaFleur train, even after thinking about it and after last night. That being said, I will say that, we need, as a team, we're in an interesting position because Matt LaFleur I think his contract's up after this year, and we very well could be looking at maybe being the Mike Tomlin of the NFC, because I think Matt LaFleur has been head coach enough to where this is the culture, the identity. He's a phenomenal coach. His win-loss record's amazing. He's one of the best offensive minds in the league. And there's so many teams in the league that would kill to have someone like him as their head coach, which is why I don't think he should be fired. At the same time, I think we just need to acknowledge what we have. And that's a head coach who, despite his amazing coaching ability, has a tendency to put out stuff like this and has created a culture where, for whatever reason, his team chokes in the absolute worst possible times and chokes in insane fashion, just choke jobs of epic proportions. And that's what's so frustrating. And so I think the team needs, I'm sure there's going to be conversations. If we're going to keep Matt LaFleur, I think Brian Gutekunst needs to look at going all in, because we need to have superstars across the team at every level who play good enough that can overcome his faults when it matters most. If they don't do that, I unfortunately think we're probably looking at having, again, Matt LaFleur being the Mike Tomlin of the NFC, where like he's a great coach. Probably won't ever have a losing record, and it will be good enough to get in the playoffs, but you're going to lose somewhere in the playoffs and never make it to the dance. I think Tomlin does have one championship, but still, I think that's what we're looking at, and that's not. Here's the thing: only one team can win the Super Bowl at the end of each year. But I think that's where we're at with Matt LaFleur. So, love you guys. Thanks for the podcast. Love the PFP community. Obviously, a tough loss, but hey, green and gold till dead and cold. I'll be, have to go into work tomorrow to two of my Bears fan coworkers, so that's going to be interesting. And we're going to be right here next season. I'll be ready and waiting for the next season to kick off, and cheering them on once again to hopefully bring the Lombardi back home. So, talk to you guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Thanks, Jared. Appreciate the email. And I'm just going to tell you, next time this happens, do not wait to make your call just because you've had a couple of beers, man. I would have loved to have heard those comments.
Wow, Scott.
Please, by all means. We got an edit button for the profanities if that's a problem. But you're right. This one's going to hurt for a long time. I'm going to fast forward to a comment he said towards the end of his voicemail, or maybe halfway through. The quote, "Hey, who wants to do punt returns?" What in the world were they doing putting Josh Jacobs on punt returns?
I was pulling my hair out. And then, of course, didn't he fumble?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like I said, why are we doing this? It's like,
we're not gonna run the ball, but we're gonna have him return.
I wouldn't be surprised if we put Brandon McManus in on punt returns.
I was just beside myself with anger. Like it was just. I
had forgotten about that.
I'm glad to hear that he is on my side with saying that Jordan Love is the guy.
Yeah, he is.
That's one. I've kind of already said this already, but I'm very much looking forward to next season. And not just because hey, football's coming back and, better luck next year. No, we have got so much potential. Every single game we lost this season, we could have won. We could have won if stupid things didn't happen. It wasn't like we just got overwhelmed. We should not be, with as young as this team is, we should not have been a contender this year. But we were. Imagine what we can do when we're healthy next season and all the ducks are in a row and we got some more these rookies start getting seasoned. And, sure, we don't have any picks in the first round, but we still got picks, dude. There's still picks coming, so who knows what's going to happen. Micah Parsons is going to be healthy, hopefully, by at least the early parts of next season. Tucker Kraft is going to be back. Remember that monster game he had a few weeks ago?
Tucker Kraft. Oh, man, with him being back, him and Micah Parsons, I know not one person makes a team and everybody gets injuries, but those two were big injuries.
Right. And it's going to be so awesome to see what they can do. And I think Matt LaFleur, he said his contract is up this year, but doesn't he have one more year on it, one more season on his contract?
I think he does have one more year on the contract. And, lots of people have years left on their contract and get fired. So
yeah,
he's not guaranteed to be here. It gives him some leverage. So I know conversations are happening and they do need to look at every aspect of that. But I like what Jared said about Gutekunst. If there's a way, if the money is available and pliable, that we can go all in and somehow get superstars or create superstars in every aspect of our team.
Absolutely. So yeah, great comment. And I almost laughed out loud when he talked about, Rashawn Gary can't get there. Well, there's a reason he couldn't get there this game.
Yeah. He was being mugged like as if he was Micah Parsons. It was insane. I was like, Gary, I feel bad for you, Rashawn. I cannot believe it. No flags. And in fact, like you said, Jared, he was nowhere to be seen. The only way I could find him was, okay, where's the hold happening? Oh, look, it's Rashawn. Frustrating Bears. Go Rams.
Go Rams. I'm going to be watching that game. I was surprised we didn't hear from somebody that said, I'm just going to root for the Bears because, it's a Midwest team. No, I'm sorry, dude. There is no way you will ever catch me rooting for the Bears unless it does something to benefit the Packers. If they're in last place I need them to beat the second place team, there is no way I am ever cheering for any team from the city of Chicago. The closest you got was the Blackhawks. I rooted for them when they won the Stanley Cup that year, 20 years ago. That is the only time. Or Chicago Fire game, Major League Soccer. Sure, I'll root for you there. I have a Chicago Fire scarf. I went to a game, but there's no way I will ever cheer for Chicago Bears, Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox, anything. It's just not happening. But all right, I'm done.
Preach, Scott. Speaking of preaching, shall we go over the 2025 season wager of fun, which I was hoping would go all the way to the Super Bowl with the Packers, but now even that's over.
Unfortunately, that is over. Let's see. I predicted Green Bay 20, Chicago 17. I was way off, despite the win-loss difference. But you said Green Bay 23, Chicago 18. The final score wound up being Chicago 31, Green Bay 27. So neither of us got a point. Over on the PFP listeners, only one person got a point because only one person picked the Packers to lose, and that was Brett Connor. He said Chicago 24, Green Bay 17. So he gets a point with a differential of 17 points, Wayne.
Wow. Well, remember, Brett Connor won it all last year.
Yes, he did. He did, which means that the 2025-2026 wager fund is officially over, and the results, Wayne, you and I had 2 ties. I had 4 wins, and you had 5 wins.
Uh-oh.
So that means you won again this season. We didn't make anything official, so I guess we'll leave it up to the listeners as to whether or not they're going to hold me to this and make me get a Packers kilt. Because I said I'd do it, but you never agreed to it, Wayne.
Well, not for my side of it, but it sounded like you really wanted to wear a kilt.
No, it's one of those things that it would be it would have been a funny thing to do. It would have been a funny thing to do.
Sounds pretty fun. Was it Bill Gardner that posted a picture in the Facebook group of his Packers kilt?
No. It wasn't Bill Gardner. He's in Portland. I think the guy that did it is actually over in Europe. I cannot remember his name because I keep seeing his picture. It's like him wearing a kilt and him kind of going like, hey, like he's got his hands outstretched, whatever. I may have to ask him where he got it. We'll have to go check that out. But as for the listeners, I'm going to run this down for you. We've got a tie. We do not have a tie. 6th place goes to David Newman. He had a half a win. 5th place goes to David Hawkins. He had 1 win. 4th place goes to Thomas Carlson with 1.5 wins. 3rd place goes to Brett Connor. He bumped up to 3rd place with that win today. So he is at 2.5 wins. 2nd place with 3 wins is Mr. Jay Walters. And in 1st place, Mr. Dan Deiler, 3.5 wins. He is this year's Wager of Fun winner. We've got some custom PFP Wager of Fun swag coming your way, including a t-shirt, as well as your bragging rights. Congratulations, Mr. Dan Deiler.
And while you were explaining the stats, I looked it up. It was Joe Christensen, who still is wearing a kilt in his profile photo.
Yes. So, Joe, if you're listening, let me know if you got it, just in case the listeners decide that needs to be my punishment.
Listeners,
or if you guys come up with something better. Maybe we should just start a thread on the Facebook group and see what the listeners say, because I did do the Talk Like a Fan song. I did do it. I do have Pokemon Go installed on my phone. I do plan to do that. The only other one we haven't done is we haven't played Madden together, which has just been a technological situation because you aren't a gamer and you don't have the technology to do it. We still plan to do that. We were talking again before the show about getting you out here to good old Illinois/Wisconsin. Maybe over the summer or something, we'll play our game, because if you were here, Wayne, we could sit here and play it. I can get the game rigged up, and I got the cameras and the streaming abilities and everything, and we can do it.
Well, and playing Madden is going to be a very brief affair, but
it would be entertaining. Dude, I don't play Madden a lot. Like I do not.
Listen to this guy.
No. I like, my game was NFL Blitz. I don't know if you ever played NFL Blitz. That was my football game.
Okay.
I know enough to be dangerous with Madden, but I am not a good Madden player. So it's not like I would mop the floor with you. Don't get me wrong. I play video games. I'll probably...
You know what the buttons do.
I know what the buttons do. But we could do that, and then we could go out. I think I owe you a Butterburger at Culver's. And I have to wear a Henderson jersey or something like that.
I had a thought that, if I make it back there, and I really want to make it to Lambeau next year, to one of the games, you could wear a kilt with the Henderson jersey while we're at Culver's. And then we go back refreshed and energized to play Pokemon Go on the way home and do a couple of raids and then do the Madden thing.
It would be hilarious just to take video. It would be hilarious just to like take video of each individual thing as we go and then like put it in a compilation video saying, see, we do stick to the thing, to the wagers.
Better late than never, right?
Exactly. That'd be funny.
Oh my goodness.
But we could knock it all out in one weekend, like all of it.
In one afternoon.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay, that's something to definitely consider. Also considering how the Packers might look different next season, because we do have some free agents, our unrestricted free agents. Some of the names that really jump out. Unrestricted free agents: Romeo Doubs, Quay Walker, Malik Willis, of course, we talked about him, Nick Nyman, and Kingsley Enagbari, among some other players. And then restricted free agents. You want to break those down for us?
Well, we should probably talk about what restricted free agent means first off, right?
Yeah, because I'm a little fuzzy myself.
Well, here's the quote. It says it is a player with 3 accrued seasons and an expired contract. Restricted free agents are free to negotiate and sign with any team, but their original team can offer them one of various qualifying offers that come with the right of first refusal and or draft pick compensation. So there you go. There's your technical definition of a restricted free agent. And those are wide receiver Malik Heath. I haven't heard his name in a while. Tight end Ben Sims. Running back Emmanuel Wilson. That one, yeah, I like him. I like having Jacobs and Wilson. That, remember the good old days of the 1-2 punch of Aaron Jones and what was his name? The big guy, the other running back.
Eddie Lacy. Come on, Scott. Eddie Lacy.
No, not that. Like that played with Jones. We had the 2 guys on there at the same time. Dylan.
Oh,
remember Dylan?
Yes, because I feel bad for him being on the Vikings.
Yeah. Also, let's see. Offensive lineman Sean Ryan, offensive lineman Darian Kennard, edge blocker Brenton Cox, and safety Zane Anderson. So those are all restricted free agents as well. So anything could happen. And like Wayne said, if any news pops up, anything big happens, and it could happen any day, right? Like it's all open season in the Packers office right now. So anything could happen tomorrow. It could happen, 3 months from now, but we'll keep you tuned in the best that we can. All right. Before we get out of here for the season, I want to remind you one more time about my other podcast, The Gaming Outsider. We are recording tomorrow as of this recording. On Tuesday this week, we're recording my absolute favorite episode of the year. It is our annual Game of the Year episode where we recap our favorite video games from 2025. And we've got a very special guest doing that, Grant Henry. He is a musician that does all of our music in our podcast. He comes every year to kind of officiate, kind of run point on this episode for us. He's an awesome guy. He's a lot of fun to talk to. It's an absolute blast every year. We have our own little award categories of favorite this and that. And we have an interesting system that we use to develop, our Gaming Outsider overall game of the year based on all of our votes. Okay. And then the plan is to even talk about our New Year's resolutions for 2026. I would love it if you checked it out. If you've ever been curious about it and want to hear my whole team, because it's going to be a full crew. It's going to be 5 of us, four crew and Grant, all on one podcast. It's a long episode, but you'll hear our favorite games from the year. And if you've ever wanted to try out some video games, we're going to have a whole list of really great ones that we want you to try. Check it out. You can listen to the same places you listen to this podcast, or go to our website, thegamingoutsider.com.
Excellent. Again, that is thegamingoutsider.com. And I just wanted to thank you, Scott, for joining me all season long on the podcast. And dear listener, thank you for listening to the show. We both really appreciate it. This will likely, like we talked about earlier, last episode until April when the draft happens, unless something huge comes around. Also, with much gratitude, we appreciate David Newman and Dan Deiler for covering for each of us on a couple other occasions this season. It was much appreciated.
Do appreciate it very much.
Thank you yet again for your financial support all season long of the podcast at PackersFanPodcast.com/giveback. Mr. J. Walters, thank you, sir. And Go Pack Go for your Bart Star level support. Dan Deiler, a.k.a. Captain Pack Sparrow, thank you. And Go Pack Go for being a Jordan Love level patron.
Thank yous and Go Pack goes to our Brett Favre level supporters. That is Megan, Miguel Ramirez, and Scott Bors. And for their Lambo level patronage, Go Pack Go, and thank you to Hank Davis from the Free Podcast Tools YouTube channel, and also Mr. Green Bay Kilt himself, Joe Christensen. Thank you very much. Check out the details on ways to support PFP at PackersFanPodcast.com/giveback.
And the Unofficial Packers Fan Podcast, not yet affiliated with the NFL or the Green Bay Packers, please tell a friend about the old PFP.
You can follow us over on X/Twitter at PackersFanPod. You can follow myself, at GoCastScott, or my podcast, at The GoCast. And you can also follow Wayne at Wayne Henderson. And to help console the Packers as yet another very long offseason begins, here's our PFP community members, Joe Christensen, Megan, Andre in LA, and Dan Deiler.
Go, Pack, go!
Go Pack, go!